Hello everybody. Hello everybody. Today's video, I thought we'd talk about this LP, the Beatles for Sale. Probably one of the most underrated Beatles albums, if there is such a thing. Probably wouldn't be in most Beatles fans' top 10. Bit of history about it. It was released for Christmas time in 1964. So obviously this was the fourth UK studio album that the Beatles recorded. Before this, they'd already done Please Please Me with the Beatles and A Hard Day's Night. Now, Hard Day's Night was the first actual Beatles UK studio album to just include Lennon and McCartney songs. There's no cover versions in it whatsoever, and it was a very successful album. Now, in this album, the reason I say it's probably the most underrated is because they went back to doing a lot of cover versions, and a lot of the cover versions on this are songs I've been doing in the stage act for years. So we're going to have a look at the track list, and I'm going to show you a couple of variations that I've got. This is actually an original 1964 press in this one. It's mono. It's actually mint. It's never been played. Somebody actually finally gave this to me a few years ago, so I've never played it. Nice fully laminated front sleeve, fully laminated black back sleeve. I mean, that is very reminiscent, well, a forerunner to the Rubber Soul cover, isn't it, if you look at that. And then on the inside, we have flip backs, this gatefold. I think it was the first British Beatles album that was a gatefold as well. So it's got flip back sleeves there and there. And this picture here is like a forerunner to Sergeant Pepper, isn't it, in a lot of ways. So, you know, in a lot of ways, it was very ahead of its time. Strange thing is the track listing. Although there's some brilliant songs on it, a lot of songs that average Beatle fan might not even know. And at the time, none of these songs were ever released as singles in the UK. So we've got side one, No Reply. Brilliant song, would have made a brilliant single, wouldn't it? No Reply. That's followed by, I think, one of the best songs the Beatles ever wrote, I'm a Loser. I'm a loser and I'm not what I appear to be. Love that song. That's followed by Babies in Black. Then you've got the first cover version, John Lennon singing rock and roll music. I mean, they've been doing that since Hamburg days, haven't they? Then you've got I'll Follow the Sun. Someday you'll know I was the one. Which is basically a rewrite of a Buddy Holly song, really, isn't it, if you think about it? Lovely song. Then you've got Mr. Moonlight. Mr. Moonlight, which is probably not knocking it, but probably not one of the highlights of this album. And then you've got Kansas City, Hey, 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 brilliant version by Paul. Side 2, 8 Days a Week. Again, Lennon and McCartney. Words of Love, Buddy Holly. Now, for saying that the Beatles, you know, always said they were great Buddy Holly songs, that is actually the only Buddy Holly song that they actually ever recorded officially. That's followed by Ringo Starr singing Honey Don't, old Carl Perkins number. Then you've got Every Little Thing. Now, that is a good song. Every little thing she does for me. That's followed by I Don't Want to Spoil the Party. Then you've got What You Doing. Look what you're doing, I'm feeling blue. And then the album finishes with George singing Carl Perkins, Everybody's Trying to Be My Baby. So out of the 14 songs, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You've got 8 Lennon and McCartney songs, and the rest are all cover versions. That's what I'm saying. I think a lot of Beatles fans at the time thought this was like a backward step for them. The other thing about this album is it's a gatefold. Now, usually gatefold would come out there, wouldn't it? But it's a bit fiddly. I've got to be very careful because, like I say, this is a mint copy. It's never been played. So to get the record out, you actually have to get through here. So, you know, it is a bit fiddling. To find anything that's still got the spine intact like that is virtually impossible. As the original EMI anti-static sleeve. These on their own go up on eBay. People want like £10 each for them. Like, this is the original mono version on yellow and black parlophone. Like I say, this copy has never been played. The story with this is somebody I work with, member of their family sadly passed away, and they asked me, because they know I collected records, if I wanted the old Gerhard record player. So I offered to pay him some money, and he goes, "No, we don't want anything for it. We've just got so much time to basically clear the house out." So I said, "Yeah." So I went to pick it up, but not only was it the record player, there was a couple of boxes of records, and that was one of the records that was in it. And there was another Beatles one, which was a mint copy of Help. Now that condition that is in, which I say is mint, it's never been played. That's probably worth £100, and that will never be played. That is always going to be an unplayed copy. All right, so that is the original one. Next we have, this is also a mono copy. I think this one is slightly. This is from the 1980s. So it's a direct metal master, still mono. Sleeve slightly lighter. Still gatefold. Don't get the anti-static sleeve. This was the sleeve it came in. You also got a barcode on the back there, if you can see it. So yeah, it'd be late 80s, maybe even early 90s, this one. Same track listing, but it's on the silver and black 2-box EMI logo. I hope you can see these labels okay. Nice heavyweight vinyl. Again, that one is virtually mint. I mean, it has been played, so it's been played. It can't really be a mint, can it? So to be excellent. Again, spine and everything is in really, really nice condition. Yeah, all in all, very, very nice. So that's also a British one from the late 80s, maybe even early 90s. Lovely tab. Again, price wise, that condition probably £40 to £50. You know, if you got the money to buy them to resell them, and you can get them at the right price, there's some money to be made in Beatles records. But I mean, I don't buy them to resell them. I buy them because I love them. This one is 2010 reissue from the EU. So they've gone back to the darker sleeve. Still a gatefold. It's got flip back sleeves. And you also get a letter with this one. Beatles in mono. Insert. This is actually really, really nice. Heavyweight vinyl. And it's on the original yellow and black parlophone label. So they've tried to make it, as authentic to the original as they can. Let's see. Sound quality on that is absolutely excellent. Again, you know, they have re-released these, but one of these at the moment, that sort of condition, which I would say is excellent. Again, you're talking around the £50 to £100 mark. Now, the reason I'm saying it is an underrated album is because, like I say at the time, I think a lot of the Beatles fans thought it was a backward step because there was more cover versions on it than, you know, after the success of A Hard Day's Night, which was just Lennon and McCartney songs. I think it was the only album that the Beatles ever released in the UK that was just solely of Lennon and McCartney songs. Because the next few after had a couple of Up to Help had at least one or two cover versions on, and then of course George started to write songs, didn't he? And then eventually Ringo. So yeah, I mean, I've always liked this album. I think, to be honest, this was one of the first actual proper Beatles studio albums that I bought. If you watched one of my videos earlier on, I did say that the first Beatles LPs I ever bought was like the budget label MFP's Rock and Roll Music Volume 1 and then Rock and Roll Music Volume 2. But I think that this was actually one of the, I think if it wasn't the first proper Beatles LP I bought, it would have been the second. Right, this one is a stereo version. I think this is, again, a later version. I'm not sure. Again, slightly lighter sleeve. Seams. This is what you've got to watch on these, the seams, because of the way you have to get the record out, the seams usually suffer. PCS. So yeah, so this is PCS 3062, where the monos were PMC 3062. Again, bit of fiddly to get out. Now this one, although it's two boxed EMI, the wording around here, around the label, outside of the label, actually still says the Gramophone Co. Limited. So this would be an early to mid 70s copy, because then it changed to EMI Records, didn't it? And it still says the Made in Great Britain under there. Again, very little play on that one. Very, very nice. Sound quality on that's really nice as well. I mean, these aren't the only ones I've got. I've just got these out to show you a couple of the variations. I mean, I've got battered up mono copies that you can pick up for, I don't know, £5 to £10. But for decent copies of this album, you know, they are quite expensive now. So yeah, that one's probably worth region of 35 to 50 quid. Again, very little play. Now this one is slightly different, if I remember rightly. Again, stereo, a lighter colour cover. Seam is intact. Now this one does come outside like a modern gatefold sleeve. I think this is actually a Swedish copy. I think. Again, yellow and black. Sure, it's made in Sweden. Yellow and black Parlophone label. Actually, I think this one is actually Spanish, saying that. Catalogue number on this is SE 072 stroke 04 stroke 220. Nice. Again, nice heavyweight vinyl. Spanish copy. I thought I had a German copy somewhere, but I can't find it, to be honest. Again, very little play on that. Very little play. No spindle wear or anything. Again, seam is very, very nice. Value-wise, don't know. I'd say between 25 and 40 quid, probably. With the Beatles, anything that's slightly different is worth money, because in the UK, when the original LPs were released in the 60s, they got played to death. So although some of them are still there, they've got to be in like really, really good condition to be worth any money. Like the ones I'm showing you, they're virtually all excellent to mint. I think this one is the Swedish one. Again, slight difference to the cover look. EMI there, where on the British versions you've got the Parlophone logo there, didn't you? Slightly lighter sleeve. The foreign pressings are becoming more collectible in the UK. Obviously, if you live in the countries where they've come from, then they're not. But that is completely different there. Look, where the track listing is, still get that bit there. But you do still get it out of here. But the spine is still okay. I think this is the Swedish one. Yeah. Parlophone silver and black, one box EMI. And the catalogue number on this one is 3C 062/04200. Again, stereo. In the UK, one box EMI, like that is there, one box EMI, was only around from around 1969 to 1971/72. I think this is actually slightly later. I won't put it much later than that, probably about 1973/74. Vinyl's not quite as heavy as the other ones. Same song title, same metrics numbers. Yeah, very nice. Again, very little play. Now, in America at the time, you couldn't get this LP, Beatles for Sale, which, remember, was the 4th UK Beatles studio album, this. In America, you actually got Beatles 65, which a lot of the songs are the same. I don't think you got quite as many, did you? 14 songs on there. You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You only get 11 songs on this one. In the UK, you got 14. So the track listing on this is side 1, No Reply, which is off Beatles for Sale, isn't it? I'm a Loser, which is off Beatles for Sale. Babies in Black, which is off Beatles for Sale. Rock and Roll Music, which is off Beatles for Sale. I'll Follow the Sun, which is off Beatles for Sale. Mr. Moonlight, which is off Beatles for Sale. And side 2, you've got Honey Don't, which is off Beatles for Sale. I'll Be Back, which is off the British Hard Day's Night LP. She's a Woman, which was the B-side of I Feel Fine single. I Feel Fine, which is obviously single. And then Everybody's Trying to Be My Baby, which is off the British Beatles for Sale album. So this is like their America's equivalent, the USA equivalent. Again, the sleeves in America were like thick cardboard that were very, very rarely laminated. This has got a shine to it, but it's not laminated. It's not in brilliant condition, to be honest. It's nice. It's got somebody's wrote their name on the back of it, but yeah. So that's the track listing if you can see it. The original inner sleeve. And they actually advertised as Meet the Beatles, which was the American version of With the Beatles. The Beatles' second album, which didn't really have a British equivalent, did it? Something New, which was leftover tracks from the British Hard Day's Night album. And then Peter and Gordon, Beach Boys concert. I mean, some of these inner sleeves can be worth a lot of money in their own right. And this is on the original, what they call the Rainbow Capital label. Rainbow just means the colours on the outer bit of the label. No, it's not. This isn't in anywhere as near as good a condition as them ones down there. It's been played a lot. But the nice thing about this is it is an original because of this label. It was later on an orange capital label, purple capital label. I think you can get on a green capital stroke target label, and then you can also get it on Apple. Yes, some of the Beatles records in the late 60s and early 70s, which was originally on Capital, were then released on Apple, which was a bit misleading, isn't it? So yeah, so that's my little Beatles for sale little haul. New T-shirt again. My missus made me this. Beatle Dave. Nice, isn't it? You know, I've always got a soft spot for Beatles for sale. Like I said, I think it was the first proper studio album that I bought by the Beatles. I love the songs on it. The only one I probably don't like is Mr. Moonlight, to be honest. I think in one way that spoils it a little bit. Because originally there was going to be a song called Leave My Kitten Alone on it, but it was left off for some reason, which probably would have fitted Beatles for sale a bit better than that one. But you know, this is how the Beatles wanted their albums released in the world, really. You know, that is how they recorded it. Beatles for sale. That's how they wanted it to be. The track listing is how they wanted it to be. In America, they didn't have much control on their albums, did they? So, yes, this is very, very close to Beatles for sale. But if I remember rightly, I Feel Fine and She's a Woman is slightly remixed, and they've got like a lot of reverb on it and a lot of echo. And to be honest, it's nice to have it like that, but it spoils it to how the original singles were. You know, eventually, I think when John Lennon realised what Capitol in America were doing with these, he was, you know, quite upset, and that's how the famous Butcher cover came along, isn't it? But we covered that in another video, didn't we? So, as always, love your records, cherish your records, clean your records, but above all, play them. That's what they're there for. Like I say, some of these haven't been played that much because, you know, like I've said to you, that one is you know, somebody gave me that and it's never ever been played and never will be played. Not because I want it like to go up in value or anything like that. It's just, you know, there's not many. All these Beatles records I've got here, most of them have been played. Well, all of them have been played. Hang on, I've got some that have been really, really nice condition, but to me, it's unplayed, so it's mint, isn't it? If you like my videos, thank you very much. If you want to leave comments, I think you can. I think I've worked out I can do comments on this now. If you subscribe, thank you very much. If you would like to subscribe or you're thinking of subscribing, you know, please do. It is free. It doesn't cost you a penny. And if you hit the notification button, then you'll be notified of when I'm doing things like this. I don't take myself too seriously, to be honest. You know, I've been a collector for 40 odd years now of records, not just Beatles, records. These are records. Some people call them vinyl, but to me they're not vinyl. They're made of pieces of plastic, as Ringo once said. Vinyl in the UK is something completely different. This is vinyl because it's like a vinyl transfer or a vinyl sheet. We put flooring down sometimes, which we call vinyl. I know, like some people call it the vinyl community, which is fair enough. Now, I can understand why people do call it vinyl, but to me, they'll always be records. But we're getting off the point, aren't we? So, yes, Beatles for sale. Is it the Forgotten Beatles album? Would this be in most Beatles fans' top 10? Probably not. It would be in mine. I think it's a fantastic little album, to be honest. Yes, there's, 6 cover versions on it. And most of the cover versions they've been doing in the stage act at some point from like Hamburg and even in the Cavern Club. But it's, it was it still got its number 1 in the UK, don't get me wrong. But I think it is very overlooked, very underrated. And to me, it will probably be in my top 6, maybe even my top 5. Again, the cover is brilliant. I think this is a very nice cover, especially that one, because that make him do the Rubber Soul cover, which then led on to things like Abbey Road cover, didn't it? So yeah, all in all, a fantastic little album. If you ever see a nice copy and it's not going to cost you too much, I'd go for it. The actual one to go for in the UK is the mono one. The stereo is okay, don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking the stereo one. But when this came out, most of the records in the UK were mono. Most people only had a mono record player. The stereo one is probably worth more, but you will be paying a hell of a lot more for it, if that makes sense. So yeah, if you see it, a decent copy you can probably pick up for around the 25 or 20, 25, £30 mark. A top-notch copy like this, you're probably talking £100. Like I say, this one's never been played. So this is going to be one of my treasured records. I mean, I love this album anyway. Like I say, it is a very underrated Beatles album. If you've liked my video and it's made you want to think, oh, yeah, Beatles for sale, that's one I haven't got. Don't just rush out and buy one. Well, if you've got the money, please do. Support your local record shop or your local independent record retailer. But maybe if you've got a streaming service like Spotify or something else, another streaming service, because there is more than one available, isn't there? Just listen to a few of the tracks. If you can get an original copy, original Beatles mono, like I say, you're probably going to be talking for a decent copy, 25, maybe 30 quid. All right, you go into HMV, you're going to be paying that for a reissue. Now, like I said, I've got some of the reissues there, and they are nice. But the collector in me would always want the original. But then again, if you can't find the original, you can look at buy a reissue, aren't you? So, as always, as I've said, love your records, cherish them, clean them, play them. It is very overcast in Derby in the UK today. Looks like it is going to absolutely throw it down at any minute. Once again, thank you to the missus for my t-shirt. She made me this one, and she also made me a red one, which with this Beatle Dave thing was a little bit bigger, if you watched my video yesterday. So yeah, if you like my videos, thank you very much. Tell your friends, maybe they'd like to subscribe. I don't get anything, I don't get paid for any of this. I do all this for the fun of it. And it is just a little bit of fun. As a collector, I'm just trying to pass on some of my knowledge and show you some of the various records of the same pressing base. I mean, I only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 6 Beatles for sales there, and they're all different. Then you've got that, so that's 7, isn't it? And then I've got another 6 up there. These 6 up there. I've got a couple more up there. I've got some in there and some in here. So in all, I think I've probably got about at least 12, maybe 15 copies of Beatles for sale. So that, you know, it has always been one of my favourite Beatles albums. Anyway, that's it for today. I hope you've enjoyed it. Whatever you're doing, if you're out and about in Derby, go and see my mate Dave at BPM, Beats Per Minute Records, on Sadlergate. He's got a lovely selection. He does sell brand new records as well as second hand. He's got a selection upstairs, which like really cheap ones. You know, they're not in top condition, but if you just want certain tracks off an album and things like that, yeah, just you know, that's good. There's a chap on Burton Market or Burton Market Hall. I think he's only there on a Friday and a Saturday. You started selling records. If you're in Nottingham, you've got Big Apple Records and Records 33 in West End Arcade. And then you have got Rob's Records, in Hertfordshire. Highly recommend anybody to go and look at Rob's Records. Even if you don't buy it, he's a lovely bloke. You know, if you want to ask him any questions, he's got a really, really good knowledge of records, Northern Soul, Motown, things like that, 60s, 70s, 80s. Yeah, a lovely chap. Also, if you're in Burton, there's Henry's Records, which is near the train station. So that is, you know, roughly the sort of places where if I'm out and about, I will buy my records. Obviously, if you only got a shop where you live, just go and have a look. I know some record shops only specialise in like new records now. Some specialise in only second-hand records. Then there's your charity shops and things like that. You know, you can make a day of it. We do it sometimes. We'll go out and, you know, I draw X amount out of the bank when my missus lets me, and then that is our day. We will just go record hunting. Because, you know, there's nothing better than looking through records and you know, thinking, "Crikey, that's some good nick. Well, that's not a bad price. I'll buy that." Sometimes you think, "Oh no, I might not pay that for that." But then in hindsight, you walk away and then wish that you had. Yeah, so that's what we do when we're up to it. It's a bit hard at the minute. My missus isn't very well at the minute, so you know, we've got to like take our time at what we're doing. Yeah, so you know, that is what we would usually do when I've got a weekend off like this. We'd probably go to Nottingham or, you know, somewhere like that, and do a bit of record shopping, have something to eat, and then end up in the pub having a few beers. Yeah, and you know, you make a day of it. I think there's some record fairs on somewhere. I don't know if that's this weekend or next weekend. I think there's one in Leicester, VRP Records, I think it is. So that's going to be it for today. I might get a chance to do one later, but I'm not 100% sure. And I've just realised this has been going on this is quite long for one of my videos. So yes, so whatever you're doing, stay safe, and we'll see you all soon. But remember, look out for those bargains and stay safe.